My people now on a day, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This is the Biafra Superstars Media. Fellow Biafrans, I gave you my words that I will not take my foot off the neck of that so-called Nigeria. For the next 90 days, I will keep on pushing this message because I know within the next 90 days from the information we are getting from America, God's own country, it seems things will be done within the next 90 days. Also, within the next 90 or 3 weeks, I'll say the next forthcoming weeks, in a fortnight, but the next 3 weeks, I would say, the Nigerian Zoo government, their Minister for Foreign Affairs, and the rest of them, or I think the Minister for Information, to be more specific, they'll be coming to America to discuss with Congressman Riley Moore and his team on the steps they've taken, to curb this genocide of Christians in Nigeria. As we are hearing now, Tinubu is saying 81% of genocide of Christians has been curbed, which is a bit very, very strange. But America is not stupid. America is not like, a country you can lie to. They are not gullible. They go with data. They go with facts. They go with what they call the KPI. Okay, you cannot fool them. So allow them to do what they are doing, but they cannot fool America. All right. At this point, there is a statement here from Congressman Riley Moore, a man I love so much, a man who is a brother to me in the word of God, in the Christendom. Hear what he said here regarding Nigeria, and it will blow your mind. Listen.
Well, we are certainly pulling for all of you with that. If I can switch gears with you real quickly in the few minutes that we have left, you were among those who were tapped by President Trump last week to look into Nigeria following his redesignation of that country as a country of particular concern. And you've moved quickly. Thank you very much for that, introducing a resolution condemning the ongoing persecution of Christians there in Nigeria. Tell us a little bit about that real quickly.
Well, just real quickly, anybody watching, contact your member of Congress and urge them to get on my House resolution, because what this allows us to do is speak as a unified voice, the House of Representatives, and give President Trump the backing that he doesn't necessarily need, but I think it's required of us to speak with one voice and support what the president is trying to do, is to stop the killing of the Christians in Nigeria. Our brothers and sisters in Christ are being martyred and murdered every day for the profession of their faith in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. This resolution shows to the Nigerian government and the people of Nigeria, one, to the government, we will not tolerate this and we support the president, and two, if you're a Christian over there who's suffering right now, we are with you, and we want to see this conflict and this, what I believe is a genocide, end.
Again, thank you so much, Congressman Riley Moore, for your leadership in this. And, somewhat related to this is the situation for religious minorities in Syria. And of
Let's
course,
hold it there. You just heard he was straight to the point. He hit a nail on the head. They are calling out on the other, people of Congress. So please, to Nigerian Christians, if you have your sisters, your mothers, your brothers, relatives in America as well, ask them to speak to their Congress people. Let them write and say, please, this is their biggest chance to stop the genocide in Nigeria. Ask them to support Trump. The bill is coming now. Everything, because in America they do things according to the law. So we are calling upon you. Do that for us. Reach out. Reach out. Tell them they should support it when it comes out, because the way things are going, that's the only way to safeguard the Christians in that zoo called Nigeria. At this point, my people, I would like to say to the previous governor of Benue State, Governor ORTOM, we need your voice now. This is the time for you to come out. Because for 8 years you cried and begged God to answer your prayers at a time, unfortunately, when you were against one of the Islamic sympathizers of Boko Haram under the presidency of the one they call Muhammadu Buhari, a man who gave you deaf ears, a man who even planned for your own assassination for speaking out. This is perhaps the time we might need you to communicate, reach out to America and tell them your ordeal, your experience for the past 8 years. That might help to nail the coffin of that so-called Nigeria, because right now you prayed and begged God for 8 years. Perhaps there was a delay to your answers. Like in the Bible, was it Daniel who was praying to God and God sent an angel to answer the prayers of that prophet? Unfortunately, the angel encountered a delay. So maybe in this case, Governor ORTOM, your video is vital. Today, I want to reach out to Senator or Congressman, to use a more specific English, Congressman Riley Moore, to reach out, find a way to get the contact of this man you're seeing here. He was once, or the last governor of Benue State. Yeah, what he's got to say. Yeah, what he's got to say. Listen.
We have chosen to say the truth. Even if we're going to die, let us die and let tomorrow appreciate what we said. And so, as far as I'm concerned, the federal government is complicit. The day they want this insurgency to finish, it will be done. Actively, they are working with Turkey, they are working with Saudi Arabia, they are working with everything to Islamize. But the real agenda is to take over Nigeria. And all these insurgents that you see happening is from Mauritania, is from Senegal, is from Cameroon, is from all over the place, trying to ensure that the indigenous people of this country do not have a say, but the Fulanis have a say. We are not against Fulani people. In government here in Benue State, I have Fulani people who are in my government. I have no issue about Fulanis, indigenous people. Everybody in this country, Nigeria, comes from somewhere. Even the Tea people, where I govern today as governor, they come from somewhere. But we have settled. Today, because of the rise in population, there is nowhere you can say that the Tea people or Benue people should leave Benue State to go to Cameroon. Where is the land? To go to where? Where is the land? And so this is the main problem that we're having in this country. If this government will appreciate and stop deceit against the people, we shall all work as a team. Nigerians, wherever we come, let us cohabit and live together. But where a particular ethnic group wants to take over the country and make some of us slaves, I can never be a slave to anyone. It is better I die and not be alive. I cannot be a slave to any Fulani man. Fulani should live their life. The Tea people should live their life. The Yoruba people should live their life. Hausa people should live their life. Every other person should live their life. We have chosen to say the truth. Even
Hold it there, my dear. Hold it there, sir. I think this man is key in this case, Senator Riley Moore. We may have to get the former governor of Benue State, Governor ORTOM, involved. Because this man was a governor who cried for 8 years. I see him as somebody who was in the wilderness for 8 years. He cried and cried, begged God in the private, prayed to God in the public, and was shedding tears of how the Fulani Islamic government were killing the people of his state in Benue, taking over his land, his resources, and no one said anything about it. Like I said, it reminds me of the story of the man in the Bible who prayed, and unfortunately, I want to believe back then it was, Prophet Daniel, where he prayed for answers. But unfortunately, the answer was delayed for about 21 days because there was a spiritual battle that occurred in the heavenly realm. Hey, God have mercy. That was real. You know, the angels were sent with the answers. But unfortunately, it was blocked by the prince from the kingdom of Persia for 3 bloody weeks until the archangel, I believe Archangel Michael, stepped in to help or to intercede. For 3 weeks, a prayer request was delayed by the prince of Persia. The same thing we saw happen just a few days ago when Pastor Adegboye, unfortunately, Pastor Adegboye of Redeemed Christian Church of God said that Tinubu should find a way to delay Donald Trump for 100 days. It's the same thing. This is how you interpret your Bible. I was just giving that spiritual realm to discuss on Daniel, who prayed like Governor ORTOM prayed. He prayed, the prayers were answered. Unfortunately, in the case of Governor ORTOM, it was delayed for 8 years. 8 bloody years until he left office. And now that the prayers have been answered, perhaps the cabal did what they did to delay the prayer of Governor ORTOM for God to send a rescuer, a redeemer of his people. Today that redeemer has come in the name of Trump, suddenly, Pastor Adegboye, Pastor E.A. Adegboye, hey, God have mercy, is telling the Tinubu government to find a way to delay Trump for 100 days. What does that tell you? You see, you guys don't know how to use the Bible. Sometimes you see the Bible like an old book of 2,000 years ago. No. You can apply, there are principles to apply the Bible today. You can apply the Bible today. All you have to do is look at what happened then and apply the same principles today. It will work for you. It will work for you today. So what you see happening here, that was why I was so angry with Pastor E.A. Adegboye when he said they must find a way to delay Trump for 100 days. Unbelievable. For that to come from a man of God, a man who believes he's a man of God, a presumed man of God, to say that the answer from God should be delayed for 100 days. Before he came out, I came out and I beat my chest open where I said in the public, from the day Trump mentioned or redeclared that Nigeria is now relisted as a country of particular concern, that was the 1st of November 2025. I made a video where I said, mark my words, within the next 90 days, the Nigeria you know today, you shall know no more. I was being specific. I was being measured. I believe in the achievement. I believe it was realistic and time-bound. So I said, on the 2nd of February 2026, if the Nigeria you know today remains the same way it is, then I, Biafra Superstars Media, will stop doing broadcasts forever. I will not be on social media platform again. So Pastor Adegboye must have known what I know, or he heard something. He knows what was to come within the next 90 days. So he chose to come in the public, something he has not done since the protests that people have been calling on him to come out and condemn the Buhari government or the Tinubu government. He refused. But suddenly he came out in the public to say that Tinubu government should find a way to delay Donald Trump for 100 years. They should delay the coming of Donald Trump for 100 years. He knew what he was doing. And if America falls for this mistake of delaying Trump for 100 years, I'm sorry. Nigeria being a 419 country, they will come with that meticulous approach. because Nigeria is very meticulous when it comes to crime. They will come with their 419 psychological approach to delay Trump, to pretend as if they are doing a job. All hands on deck. You'll be seeing fake news. Even their local media or private media, they'll be saying breaking news, breaking news. Oh my God. As we speak that, they are saying 81% of the Christian genocide has been ended in Nigeria. This is on the media in Nigeria. Now they are saying 81% of the Christian genocide has ended in less than 11 days of Trump's pronouncement. So I'm saying all that to say this. With the intels we have, within the next 90 days, the Nigerian Islamic country you know today, you shall know no more. I said within the next 90 days. Mark me by the 2nd of February, 2026. It will be done and dusted. But I was so angry with the redeemed pastor, Pastor E.A. Adegboye, who said that he wants Trump or Nigeria to find a way to delay Trump for 100 days. I was so angry about that. So at this point, for the naysayers who don't understand how to, apply the Bible in today's days, in today's time, I just read to you the book of Daniel, I believe, where he prayed to God and God responded. Unfortunately, the prince from the kingdom of Persia, they're in the Arab world, so perhaps the Islamic jihadists during that time, they slowed the angel down. You see, they slowed the angel coming down with the answer for 21 days. This is how you know how to get these guys from that zoo called Nigeria. They slowed the angel coming with the answers for 21 days. I believe it was in the books of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 13. I want to believe so because that was a scripture that I knew how to apply in so many occasions. When I ask God for something, I'll be more specific. I will know this is something that is achievable in a particular time. And after you pray, then you give thanksgiving. Because in most cases, once you pray and your heart is genuine, God has answered your prayers. The next thing you do is what? You start to give thanksgiving. From prayers to thanksgiving. But you guys make mistake. You pray and pray and pray. So you are saying, uncle, pay my school fees. Your uncle has said, okay, I've paid your school fees, but it goes through the bank to get to your account. So don't call your uncle again and say, uncle, please pay my school fees. Uncle, pay. No, the bank are the ones delaying your payment. So what you have to do is say, uncle, thank you very much. I'm hopeful that very soon the bank will clear the money and pay me. There might be a delay in the payment into your bank. Perhaps for 6 months, you've not used the bank account, and now the bank account is now dormant. I repeat, the delay might be that your uncle has paid the money into your bank, but your bank account has not been used by you. He's not been activated for 6 months. So it was deactivated because there has been no transaction in the bank for 6 months. Your bank account became dormant. So even though your uncle has paid the money is still hanging somewhere. Your uncle has paid your school fees. It's hanging somewhere. Until you resolve the issue with that bank account, the money will not be in your bank. So there is no need for you to be calling your uncle and praying to him. Say, uncle, please, I need some money for school fees. Uncle, please, I need money for school fees. Your uncle has already said, I have paid you. The same thing with God. When you pray to God, you ask for some things. Be more specific in your prayers. Things that you need, not things you want. Your needs, God can meet your needs. Because God said he will never lay upon you a load too heavy to carry. So once you ask for your need, pray once, and start to give thanks to God. This happened in the books of Daniel, where Daniel asked for a favor from God. It was answered, unfortunately, to tempt Daniel. The prince from the kingdom of Persia withstood, fought, delayed the angel for 21 days that was bringing in those answers to the prayers until Angel Michael stepped in to resolve the issue. The same thing is happening here now. I said within the next 90 days, the Nigeria you know today, you shall know no more. From the intels we are having from America, the details we are having, in fact, the case has been concluded because for 16 years, they saw what Nigeria has been doing to the Christians. I repeat, for 16 years, they saw what Nigeria has been doing to the Christians. Not be today, not be just yesterday. 16 bloody years. Think about that. For 16 seasons, they saw what Nigeria has been doing to the Christians. And now they are acting. But suddenly, a so-called man of God came and said they should delay the act of God, or the wrath of God, for 100 days, 3 months, and 10 days. So I had to point to you in the Bible where the prince of Persia tried to delay a prayer request for 21 days. I hope now you are getting the picture. So Governor ORTOM is somebody I would like them to reach out to, because I believe that his prayers have been answered, or they were answered then, but then there were so much things happening. There was a democratic government. We know how Joe Biden, the boy, the sidekick of Barack Obama and all those things. We know the games they played. We know how they were selfish for the resources. They were happy to work with the caliphate and the rest of them. And under the Buhari government, his own case, he was the patron of who? Boko Haram. A grand patron of Boko Haram. We saw him fly the flag. He took the flag of Boko Haram to where? To Aso Rock when he was president. So Governor ORTOM prayed and prayed for 8 years. It appears there was no answer. But we thank God that today, oh my God, have mercy, America is coming to execute the request by Governor ORTOM. So he's key. I'm going spiritual with this one. He is key. This is how I interpret the Bible. And every time I do things this way, I've gotten results and outcome. From prayers to thanksgiving. You pray once, then you begin to thank God. Say, God, I thank you because I know you have answered my prayer. You are the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. As long as you promise us that you will never destroy this world with flood, due to the covenant we have with you, the covenant of seed time and harvest. When you plant a seed, when you sow a seed, you must harvest it. I am calling upon you, Lord, in the name of Jesus, that my people are dying. Biafra, we need to break away from Nigeria. Give us a way. Send us a redeemer. You know deep inside, we are good people. But the enemies around us, they have made a table and they are ready to, to have us on the menu. We are calling upon you to redeem the people of God. Lord, you know deep inside, we are peaceful people. When it comes to the so-called One Nigeria, we were the ones that practiced One Nigeria. We went around the whole country. The same way anybody can do in a civilized world. If you claim we're a nation, then I can live anywhere within that nation. But there was tribalism, nepotism, and red tape all across the government atmosphere. And they made sure that they subjugated us and they were angry with our success. If they believe in a nation, then when a particular tribe is doing well, it means the nation is doing well. But because there was tribalism amongst them, they have colluded against us. We want out. We need a redeemer. We need a redeemer. And after making those prayers, all you have to do is believe it's been done and keep on thanking God. So we thank God for who? For Nnamdi Kanu. When he broke out from Uwazurike, we thank God for what he said. He said to them, look, all I need is 18 months. Uwazurike, please give me 18 months to solve this job, to get us Biafra. 18 months is all I need. And I promise you, if I don't deliver, I will hang myself publicly in the market square. Unfortunately, the enemies heard his request and they fought tooth and nail to delay him. Because sometimes some things you may have to keep it in the private. But he said it out because Wazirike's hands were tied. We know Wazirike. We knew what happened to him. We knew how the end of Masob came. His hands were tied. And when the enemies within Masob knew that this man called Nnamdi Kanu has a mission, because they've already taken a brown envelope from Nigeria, they chose to sabotage the 18 months that Nnamdi Kanu has requested for. Because of that, he chose to break away from Masob and formed the IPOB movement. And from the IPOB, we saw how things were going. We got to the last phase where great men like Simon Ekpa came on board. Myself, I came on board. And he told us to pray the books of Psalms. As we were praying the books of Psalms, unfortunately again, those within him, hey, God have mercy, those that know what was to come once the prayer is ended, they told Nigeria, this is your chance to stop this man, because what he will do after the prayer, Biafra will be set free, and in Nigeria you know today, you shall know no more. So those around him again, they sold him out to the enemy. He knew there was danger from Britain because everything was tight, tough. He chose to move to Kenya. But unfortunately, those around him, they still smoked him out. There was a lady who kept on forcing him that she wanted to send some money through Western Union transfer to him. And at the time when he took the money off her, not knowing that when you send money through Western Union money transfer, you can always go back to the customer service and ask how much did the sender receive. The date, the time, the itinerary will be there. So this woman kept on asking Nnamdi Kanu, where is your location? Where is your location? Kanu told her, I cannot tell you my location, but I'm feeling good. The weather is very, very warm. I love the weather here. It is good for my health, but I cannot tell you my location. This was during the time of winter. So the woman knew that if Nnamdi Kanu is saying the weather is hot, the weather is warm. And if Nnamdi Kanu is from where? From Britain. And we're in the winter season, then he should be saying the weather is cold. This winter is killing me. I can't cope no more with the winter. But when he said that the weather was hot and warm and all those things, so she knew Nnamdi Kanu was not in Britain. She knew they were looking at the wrong place, trying to smoke out Nnamdi Kanu. So with that information, that's mistake from our leader Nnamdi Kanu by describing the weather of his location. She knew he was in a warm environment. That's why there was a rumor of him being in Brazil, because they assume, okay, black guys love to go to Brazil and all those nonsense, because in Brazil too, the weather is always nice there. So what they did in effect was to find a way to send him those money through Western Union transfer. And when he encashed the money from the Western Union transfer, the sender then had to call Western Union to make an inquiry to know if the receiver has received the money. And also they asked, in what currency? In what currency did they receive the money? Because it makes no sense taking the dollars if you can also, exchange it to the local currency. So one way they knew he was in Kenya, and the next thing was history. We know how they blackmailed him in Kenya. He got to the airport in Kenya to have a guest who promised to support him in the movement, not knowing that Nigerian government, they already have the location of where he was through that woman that kept on asking for his location. At the airport, he was waiting for his business guest. Came from nowhere, some military men. He was seized, overpowered. But what saved his life, I keep on repeating here. They say the same way you saw him shouting in the court. You've seen his thunderous voice. When he speaks, you've seen his thunderous voice. That same voice saved him at the Kenyan airport. Towards the parking lodge, the car park lodge there. Because they came to overpower him. And when they grabbed him, he was shouting, screaming very, very loud that my name is Nnamdi Kanu. They have come to kidnap me. The Nigerian government, they are here to kill me. Tell my people, I am the leader of Biafra. I am the leader of IPOB. God, my God, have mercy. He was yelling. People around the airport came to help him out. But unfortunately, those people there that held him were saying he was a terrorist coming to bomb Kenya. He's a terrorist. But they saw how eloquent he was speaking. People around saw how eloquent Nnamdi Kanu was speaking. So they didn't buy the idea that Nnamdi Kanu was a terrorist. But unfortunately, you know how things are when armed forces men are holding somebody, saying he's a terrorist, telling people to back away. But he kept on shouting, go to my people and tell them they have come to kidnap me. They want to kill me. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. Tell them go on social media and tell them now. Man, he was, oh my God, have mercy, Lord. I can't even believe the testimony I saw. I can't believe it. Very, very sad and painful. But his voice saved him. He was bundled into the boots of the van, taken away. The intention was to kill him there and bury him in a shallow grave. But unfortunately for them, the killers, the perpetrators of this heinous act, they panicked. They were scared because they assumed that the scene, the commotion it created at the airport would leak out. So they told Nigerian government, we have your man, we have the target, but we cannot go into plan A. We cannot kill him here. We cannot take the life of this man because he created a very big scene at the airport. And soon and very soon, videos might be leaking out on social media. So plan A was taken out of the window. If you remember, during that time, there was a rumor that Nnamdi Kanu was still praying. In fact, he has gone to the mountain to pray while we're praying the books of Psalms. The rumor was that, oh, he will not come to broadcast for a while because he has gone to the mountain to pray. They said he has gone to the mountain to pray. So we should keep on praying the books of Psalms, but we will not see him for a while. And you know, in most cases, real men of God, sometimes when they are so clean in the spirit, so pure in the flesh, when they pray in the mountain, sometimes they have this telepathic experience where their soul, being so pure, can leave their body through what they call astral projection. Leave the body and goes into heaven. God will say, this one is too pure. I love this one. Come and stay here with me in paradise. But to the mere mortal, you say, oh, this man went to the mountain to pray and he died. No, what you are saying is the flesh of that man in the mountain. Yes, the flesh will die and rot, but the soul leaves the body. So that was the plan, to say Nnamdi Kanu has gone to pray and he died in the mountain. That was a plan A. But luckily, the killers, the kidnappers of Nnamdi Kanu, they were scared because they heard his voice, the commotion he created at the airport. People of Kenya, you guys did not do us well. people of Kenya that were in that airport, you guys did not do us well. You should have come all out and put those pictures, the videos, the pictures out, but you didn't do it. An inside source had to tell us. Or let me not go there. Let me not go there because the case is still in court. Let me not go there. But those who had footage, you should have put it out. People of Kenya, when they say these people don't have swagger sometimes, they are too timid and calm. They're not like us. People like us, we put the video out. But let's not go there. Now the plan B, being that they couldn't kill him in Kenya, they panicked, so they said, okay, there should be a plan B. And they found a way. He was chained to the ground for 8 days. I repeat, Nnamdi Kanu was chained to the ground for 8 days. Our leader Nnamdi Kanu, due to plan B, he was chained to the ground in a secret location for 8 days, while the Buhari government were scouting around, seeing how to bring him to Nigeria through an extraordinary rendition. And they found a way to take a private jet to Kenya. He was bundled into that jet in the night. People at the airport were bribed, paid, rewarded handsomely for him to be taken in. And during that process, on the 8th day, they flew to Nigeria, straight to the DSS custody. He was blindfolded. And from there, they brought him to the court of Binta Iyaku, Justice Binta Iyaku. Do you see the way these guys don't follow the rules of law in Nigeria? Now they are saying Nnamdi Kanu cannot defend himself now. Why does he want? But in the time of Binta Iyaku, a man was brought hooded, and she allowed for him to speak for himself. You see, when it favors them, when it favors the media of Nigeria, they don't say anything. But now that Nnamdi Kanu has now gone through his files, and he now knows he has no case to answer against Nigeria, he has decided to defend himself. Now the media is saying, how can he defend himself? It's unfair. He doesn't have the experience. He's not smart enough. Somebody like Ruben Abati said Nnamdi Kanu is not smart enough to defend himself. He doesn't know what he's doing. That's why you see I stopped calling him doctor. Going forward, his name now is Mr. Ruben Abati. Because that thing he said about Nnamdi Kanu. For him to dismiss our leader Nnamdi Kanu that way. He's so full of himself. He thinks he is the most educated in that so-called Nigeria. Doctor. Even in the media, they are calling you doctor. A shameless fool. Idiot. An ugly bastard. The arrogance of that man pisses me off. Today, Nnamdi Kanu has shown you how to defend oneself in court. He has told your justice. Oh yeah, show me under what law are you using to charge me? And James Omomotosho was dumbfounded. Under what law are you using to charge me? And your justice, James Omotosho, a justice was dumbfounded. Dumb found dead. A dumb man found dead, dumbfounded. To break it down. Some people, I say all that to say this. We have to be careful in Nigeria. Nigeria is a satanic country. Nigeria is a business owned by Britain, and they want, sometimes when a criminal is doing something and they want to front a different front to make a shady business look like it's something clean. From colonization, they took those lands forcefully. They call it the Royal Niger Company, from the royal family. Royal Niger Company, a company, Royal Niger Company. It's all about the Niger there. Niger. Royal Niger Company. They came with that. After which they said, okay, let us streamline this business. Let us do a merger of this business. Till this day, there's something called business merger, where 2 or 3 companies come together to merge. So they brought the Northern Protectorate, not a country, Northern and Southern, and they made it one. Lord have mercy. You see, sometimes when they just use the word Northern and Southern Protectorate, people don't understand the meaning of those words. Because during those days, Europe came to scourge. They were going through Africa, taking lands for themselves. Once you take a land, you have to protect and say, this one is mine, don't come here. So you now create a protectorate. Once you have taken a territory, a land in Africa, when they were scourging, going around taking lands in Africa, when they take a side, a land, you will now put some borders there. Say, this is my own, or this is for England. France, don't come here. Portugal, don't come here. Protectorate. Let's check the meaning. Listen.
Protectorate.
Again. Listen.
Protectorate.
One more time. Listen.
Protectorate.
Protectorate. Let's take it back to school. It says a state that is controlled and protected by another. A state that is controlled and protected by another. When Britain came, when they chose those area, they had to protect it. Say Belgium, this is mine, don't come here. You see, France, from Benin, it's yours, but here on, it's mine. This is my protectorate. Because they were just scavenging, going around, sharing Africa for themselves. Britain that you all love now. People that called you a country, Niger area, you love them now, but this is how they treated you back then. They took from the south. Again, France came towards Niger to take that. They came and say, hey, France, please, don't come towards this place now. Take from Niger, take there. Let us take from this side, okay? And put your boundaries there now, okay? So this is now my Northern Protectorate. Why France took Niger, Mali, and those other areas. Cameroon as well, French. Cameroon. That was how they were sharing the pie. The continent of Africa. They were sharing it. Let me speak to you. Let me teach. Let me teach. Because sometimes it is good, to take us back to school so we can see what's really going on in that zoo called Nigeria. Protectorate. Because you guys just thought, they came with the Northern Protectorate, Southern Protectorate, and brought it as one, it became a country. No. When they were going around sharing, Britain took the south, it took the north, it shared the border with France. In the north, Niger, all those places, Cameroon, Mali, Chad, they share those places. Okay, this is mine now. Once you now have the boundary right, you will now say, okay, this is now my protectorate. It's now mine. You see, it's like to share cake. You don't cut cake to 12 pieces. Now, I've taken 3. These 3, they are mine now. I will now put my name on those 3. The other guy who took 2, go put his own name there. It becomes a protectorate. What's the meaning again? Listen.
Protectorate.
Okay. A state that is controlled and protected by another. How can you control somebody and protect them from another? It means that's slavery now. If you are controlling a state, at the same time, you are protecting it from another. It means you are controlling the resources, the people within that environment, that state. And now, because you want to protect them from other bigger boys from Europe coming, so they don't come in and take from what you've taken. You say, okay, please, this area now is my protectorate. It belongs to us. You now hoist the flag of Britain. Great Britain, the Union Jack. That's why till this day, even in the UK, I think they hate the Union Jack because it stands for something else. When they were called Great Britain, Great Britain, Now they want to hide it. They say, oh, UK. No, it was known as Great Britain for something, for a reason. Let's continue. It says, for example, Panama was jurisdictionally protected by the United States. Okay, that's something else. They said again, the position or period of office of a protector, especially that in England of Oliver and Richard Cromwell. Okay, during that time in that so-called Nigeria. Again, it says, a protectorate is a state or country that's protected by a larger, stronger one. Siam. Protectorate is another word for protected states. Why would that zoo be a protected state? You know what I'm saying? They've seen the resources there. They have seen the resources, so they want to keep it to themselves. Protectorates are weak territories, protected and partly controlled by a stronger one. You see? So you say, oh, you guys, you are weak, you are deaf, dumb, and blind. We have come, we have subdued you. We now call you the Royal Niger Company. This is our company now. No, it was their protectorate. The resource was theirs in the name of the Queen and things like that. That's so funny that Nigeria was created during the time when there was Queen Elizabeth. Thank God. So while they were going with that, doing those things, you know, doing what they were doing, from the Royal Niger Company, I repeat, from the Royal Niger Company, this man called Lord Lugard, he was somebody who was so selfish and greedy. He was enjoying the weather in the north. He was enjoying the weather in the north. So from London, now they are now seeing the account, the balance sheet. It shows that the south are bringing in more revenue. You see, but the north, the revenue is not much. But this man, they based in the north. So they told him that, hey, I think we are getting more resources from the south. Oh, we may need to send you a helper. Listen now. See him as the manager. The south is bringing in more money. The north is bringing in less money. But he's somebody who loves the hot weather. So he loves to stay towards the north in most cases. Even till this day, the Western world, they love hot weather. You see, so he was always staying in the north. So Britain, looking at the books, looking at the papers, they want to maximize their profit. So they now told him, say, hey, the Southern Protectorate is bringing in more revenue for us than the northern part. We want to send you a helper. We want to have two managers, one in the south, one in the west. One in the north, to expand the business. To expand the business. You see, so by him now, naturally, because you are the main guy there, they wanted to move him to the south, where the money is more, because it only makes sense if you are the main manager. If a new one they come, they will now give you the bigger head, office to deal with, to manage, while the new guy will now deal with the smaller office. So to Britain, they assumed they were doing him a favor by telling him to move to the south, while the new guy who is coming will take over the northern, protectorate. But him now, out of greed, oh God, I'm a historian, God have mercy. When I read this book back in the 90s, I was in deep shock. It was one of the books that my father had then, in the library. I read it, I was like, wow, this man was so greedy. He said, him now, I think it was a journal or something. They said, but Lord Lugard, out of greed, Sherlock, and the love for the weather of the north, he then told Britain they should calm down, that he wants to streamline the business, the Royal Niger Company. So he's going to merge two of them. Don't send nobody here. Why? Because he doesn't want to go to the south. He wanted to remain in the north because of what? The weather. So he told them, don't send anybody here. I will merge both of them together and make them one. Britain was like, wow, that's a very good idea. It means we are spending, or we are streamlining the business, so the operation cost, the running cost will be less. But did he understand the selfish reason of that man? So they did what? Okay, fine. So he now amalgamated Nigeria in the year 1914. Do you now get it now? He amalgamated Nigeria in the year 1914 out of selfishness. So when that happened, what else did you expect? Now his concubines were coming around every 3 months. Concubines will come from England. Some tourists will come to stay with him. Concubines, it's normal stuff. They send their girls, their women, to service those men for 3 months. When they go back, somebody else comes again. Oh God, have mercy. During that time, Flora Shaw found herself, she was going around Africa, the different places in Africa. She found herself in that zoo called Nigeria to see Lord Lugard. And when he saw Flora Shaw, he fell in love with her beauty. So in a bid to show up, because then she was a quack journalist, just, doing her write-ups, all those things about Africa and the beauty of Africa, the resources, and other kind of stuff. She was doing write-ups. She was a journalist. So in a bid to entice her, men still do it to this day. Men just to sleep with a woman, you go, baby, how you did? In fact, you are so nice to me. By Christmas, I go buy you a Mercedes Benz. As long as you are nice to me. If you are nice to me, consider it done. That kind of stuff. So he told her, hey, look, in fact, I am thinking about naming this country. I want to name this country. I'm thinking about a name to use for this. In fact, this company, it will become a country now. I need a name. Have you got any name for me, please? As I speak in UK. Have you got any name for me? Any idea I can use to call this name, this people? Because the Royal Niger Company is a bit too long. You can tell it's a company name, Royal Niger Company. And I need like a very nice name to name them. And she said, well, yeah. But what about, the Niger area? What do you think about that? Because, just by our side is the River Niger. So if you call it the Niger area, it sounds better because the Royal Niger Company, Niger is still there. But if you say the Niger area, the area of the Niger, then that makes sense. What do you think? So, wow. That's brilliant of you, Flora Shaw. That's brilliant. Let's do it. So your name, I keep saying this, your first name after the amalgamation, the name given to you animals there was Niger area. That was your first name. Niger area was the name, not Nigeria. There was nothing like Nigeria first. Niger area, from Royal Niger Company to Niger area. Now, during those days, the Portuguese, they were more pronounced in Africa. The Spanish, the Portuguese, and all those things, they were more pronounced. It means they Africa more. Then they were like scavengers now because the big boys don't come in. People like France, Britain, Belgium don't come in. So the Portuguese, they were just hanging around, trying to take left over or find something that we take. So when they came now and they heard the name Niger area, they were like, okay, Nigeria, now Nigeria. So in their own reports, in their repertoire, they were saying Nigeria, Niger area. To them now Nigeria, Niger area, Niger, not Niger, Niger area, Niger. Like in your zoo, there is Niger State and there is a country called Niger. The same spelling. That's what happened there. I mean, the evidence is before your door there. There is a state in your country called Niger State. And guess what? There is a country next to you known as Niger. So what if people who now pronounced Niger area call it Nigeria. Now you get why. Nigeria. From Nigeria, the swagger now came in. They look at it and said, oh, okay. They're calling it Nigeria. Nigeria came up. They made it one word. Nigeria came up. And that's the name you're using now. So I took my time to show you the fallacy of this thing called Nigeria, this country, this so-called nation. You were never supposed to be one. It was outside of one man's greed. A man who loved a weather in the north, and out of greed, he chose to streamline everything and make it one. That way he will be ruling from the north and he doesn't have to move to the south. And nobody will come in to, to support him, to be their PA and see the game he's playing. He always had love for those from the north. And I don't want to go to the history of their politics, where they told the north, hey, you guys are not ready. You guys can do it by yourselves. But let me not go there. Let me not go there. So we were never one. That's it called Nigeria. We were never one, to call it spade a spade. And in closing, this man you are seeing here, the former governor of Benue State, I believe his cries has been answered. And we must take what this man said seriously. Today, he has been vindicated, because when he was crying, even your Nigerian media could do nothing about it. They interview him, he cries and cries and cries like a baby. In fact, some called him the crying governor. He was bullied. Metiala was bullying him left, right, and center. This man was crying. They called him the crying governor. But today, he has been vindicated, because Nigeria is not one. You are not supposed to be one. You are not a nation. Everything happened by mistake, from the greed of one man. Lugard. Frederick Lugard. So before I go, for the last time, let us hear our brother break it down.
To die. Let us die. And let tomorrow appreciate what we said. And so, as far as I'm concerned, the federal government is complicit. The day they want this insurgency to finish, it will be done. Actively, they are working with Turkey, they are working with Saudi Arabia, they are working with everything to Islamize. But the real agenda is to take over Nigeria. And all these insurgents that you see happening is from Mauritania, is from Senegal, is from Cameroon, is from all over the place, trying to ensure that the indigenous people of this country do not have a say, but the Fulanis have a say. We are not against Fulani people. In government here in Benue State, I have Fulani people who are in my government. I have no issue about Fulanis, indigenous people. Everybody in this country, Nigeria, comes from somewhere. Even the Tea people, where I govern today as governor, they come from somewhere. But we have settled. Today, because of the rise in population, there is nowhere you can say that the Tea people or Benue people should leave Benue State to go to Cameroon. Where is the land? To go to where? Where is the land? And so this is the main problem that we're having in this country. If this government will appreciate and stop deceit against the people, we shall all work as a team. Nigerians, wherever we come, let us cohabit and live together. But where a particular ethnic group wants to take over the country and make some of us slaves, I can never be a slave to anyone. It is better I die and not be alive. I cannot be a slave to any Fulani man. Fulani should live their life. The Tea people should live their life. The Yoruba people should live their life. Hausa people should live their life. Every other person should live their life. We are chosen to say the truth. Even if we are going to die, let us die. And let tomorrow appreciate what we said. And so, as far as I'm concerned...
Holy day, my Mr. Man, you've spoken very well, sir. I appreciate you, sir. For those that have ears, let them hear. This is my gospel. This is my story. This is my song.
Yeah, check me out. Superstars Media. Lord Logan, Bloomington, Lord Logan, and it's why Flora show 1914 amalgamation is what we dying for. 3 nations to 1 nation, ever since annihilation. Nepotism is nonsense. You and you, clap your hands. Biafra gonna come, clap your hands. Biafra, Odudua, we're free now. Freedom is gonna come, we're free now. Yeah.